Namaste, Jai Hind. Yet another Zara Hatke conversation around the time when the expected numbers of Kumbh has already crossed and we still have at least about 10 days, 15 days actually of Kumbh left. 26th of February is Mahashivratri. We are having this conversation on the 10th of February. I just want to let our viewers know. And we've crossed 42 crore Shraddhalu who have taken a dubki, and this is the Astha ki dubki, which is confirmed by the Uttar Pradesh government. Sitting in front of me is not just a good friend, but I'm a huge fan of his work. His Hidden Hindu series blew me over, and now, after reading volume 1 of the Naga Warriors, this is now going to be a one-sitting read again of Naga Warriors, the Naga Warriors 2. Akshat Gupta, namaste.
Pranam.
Pranam. Good to have you with us again. अब इन दोनों किताबों के बारे में मुझे सबसे पहले बताइए, ये नागा वॉरियर्स कहाँ से सूझा? फर्स्ट अप, where did you get this idea?
So this friend and producer called Mr. Sandeep Lezel, he approached me. Now he's become a friend. Initially we met for the same project. He wanted to make a film bigger and better than films like 300 by Gerard Butler and Akshay Sir's Kesari, Saragadi War. And he approached me that, Akshat, this very less documented about 1757 when Ahmad Shah Abdali attacked Gokul, and there were a handful of Naga Sadhus who were in their own conference and their own puja and something. So none of these parties knew that this, there's some kind of retaliation coming or some kind of attack coming, vice versa. And then those Naga Sadhus decided to stand in front of Gokul and save it. The Gokul that you and I see today is because of those Naga Sadhus.
Naga.
Yes, we have heard.
So this is documented in history somewhere?
Yes, very less, because as it is always said that history is written by victors. All of them died. This line, na khoob ladi mardani wo to jhansi wali line. We know that line because there were a few people out of that war from our side who were alive. So they could tell what Jhansi ki Rani did. All of them died. So there was nobody to document or tell what happened. And Ahmad Shah Abdali had to go back with his army. He had a commander-in-chief called Sardar Khan. So he had to return back. And nobody wants to, acknowledge their defeat. Which is why very less is written. Which is why I often say that by any chance in Mahabharata, if Kauravas would have won, instead of Krishna, we would have been praying to Shakuni. Shakuni was playing exactly what Krishna was playing from the other side.
Correct.
So they did not lose the battle because Gokul is still standing, but they at the same time couldn't even win because they were very, very less in numbers in comparison to
just about 300, no?
Yes.
300. So ironic that there is a Hollywood series about a Greek story where there are just 300 warriors.
Yes.
And in 1757, there were just 300 Naga Sadhus. Now, Naga Sadhus are not seen as warriors. But you have called them the Naga Warriors. You've not said the Naga Sadhus. So why?
Because in real they are warriors only. Adiguru Shankaracharya, back in 7th century, understood something that we are still trying to accept and teach and learn, that we cannot win like this anymore. There are times when we had to take one hand off. Not that we want to do this, it is the need of the hour sometimes, or else we are always like this. So Adiguru Shankaracharya understood it back then, that in the coming times, Shastras only is not going to help in order to protect and sustain our Dharma. So he created this clan called the Naga Sadhus. Because he saw that the kings were ready to fight, but not for dharma. They were ready to fight for women, for land, for their own empire, but no one was there to defend the dharma. Which is when he created, Adiguru Shankaracharya created Naga Sadhus, and the only purpose that they have is to defend and protect our dharma. They are the protectors of dharma. It is just that we don't know. We know so many freedom fighters. We know 1000 such things which is just not needed.
Correct.
But this is something that everybody should know. So I decided to fictionalize it a little bit because there was nothing more written or documented. So this is a historical fiction, bigger than a lot of such stories where the antagonist and protagonist are not matching in numbers.
So, but let me, challenge you a little there. The story of Aja and his guru, you have chronicled beautifully in this. And then there are other characters, and there are those who don't believe that they can actually do, like the character who gets on the horse and then travels the whole distance to come and relay the message that, Ibn Shah Abdali is making a move. Book one, there are many instances. But let's come back to the Naga Sadhus. If the Naga Sadhus were empowered or entrusted with saving Dharma by Adiguru Shankaracharya, why is it that they are not seen in a lot of the protection of Dharma fights? Even among the Marathas, there is no mention when they stood up. The 70 years of Hindavi Samrajya, a lot of it was called Hindavi Samrajya. So clearly there was a certain element of protecting Dharma.
Yes.
But the Naga Sadhus are not mentioned. With the Rajputs, there is no mention of the Naga Sadhus in Rajput history. Why is that? If they were actually supposed to stand there to protect Dharma, how is it that whatever happened in Mathura happened? Why is it that Shyamji had to be taken away from Mathura and Vrindavan to Jaipur? If the Naga Sadhus really were tasked and they were supposed to be empowered to do this.
As you said that it is not told to us, it's not that they were not there. They've just not been acknowledged yet. They have fought hundreds of wars for kings also. Have you seen this amazing series called Game of Thrones? I'm sure you must have.
Yes.
You remember there was this one empire who used to take money to fight for anybody.
Yeah.
The Golden Army or something.
Correct.
I'm not comparing Naga Sadhus with them, but any time if any king had called for them, requested them to fight from their side against Mughals or Afghans or any traitor, any invader, they have come. There are not one, not two, there are multiple incidences where Naga Sadhus have fought shoulder to shoulder with the armies of kings, saving their lands. But it's just that, they don't want anything in exchange. They do it because they believe that it is our duty to do that. There are more than 4 lakh Naga Sadhus, registered Naga Sadhus in our country.
4 lakh?
More than 4 lakh.
More than 4 lakh.
Still joining more. It is bigger, the army of your Dharma, my Dharma. And I feel so thrilled and proud to tell you this. Our own personal army is bigger than most of the armies of the countries.
Wow. But where are they? You see them in Kumbh.
Yeah.
And Kumbh is purely because of the color, the verve. Yes. And the Naga Sadhus have a sense of mysticism and mystery around them. And we also know that the normal Sadhalus fear them also. Because when they know that Naga Sadhus are there, तो सब पीछे हट जाते हैं. A lot, they इनको जाने दो. But why? Why is that depiction only that they are there at Kumbh? They are fear because they got long matted locks and they don't wear too much of clothing and they are having a trishul in their hand and then they have got bhasm and all of that. So it's more, how would I say, dharma glamorized, if I may use that term, not with irreverence, but that's how it's perceived.
But why do we need to even justify? Why not dharma glorified? It must.
Glamorized.
Why not glamorized? What is wrong with, why can't the word glamour be associated with dharma? If I feel proud and happy, it is glamorous for me. Why is everybody going in Maha Kumbh? Because Maha Kumbh is auspiciously glamorous. Why not? So Naga Sadhus are not much seen after or before this is because they love solace. They don't want to be seen or touched. It is like, we have all heard this line, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata. Whenever you will need us, we will come. Vishnu says the same thing, right?
Correct.
Jab adharm bhadega, main aunga. They are like that. They need to know that they are needed and they will come. See, the thing is, there's always a reason when two people meet. There's an exchange of something.
Correct.
If not something, there's an exchange of emotion and love.
Emotion and love.
They have nothing to offer or exchange. which is why they don't want to lure us.
But where are these 4 lakh Naga Sadhus in Bharat?
All scattered everywhere. You go to Jain, you go to Nashik, Prayagraj for now, but afterwards also you will find, you go to Banaras, and most of them, they live in their akhadas here and there, in mountains, in, you know.
What do they do? Train? Are they actively training to be Yodha warriors, or are they just purely penance, meditation, collecting siddhis? What is
both
what
actually?
Both.
Both actually. Usually you will see, you know, till a certain age of 50, you will find most of these Naga Sadhus fit. It's for 2 reasons. One, they are not sitting in cars and ACs, or they don't have any vehicle, they don't have even food. So it's also malnutrition at times, but also the kind of training and the kind of environment that they live in is not for us. So that is who they are. They keep continuously training themselves. They don't sleep on mattresses, they sleep on, you know, on the ground. And there's only one color that they wear, that's Bhagwa.
Bhagwa.
Now I've made this analogy about what Bhagwa is for us. And so Anand bhai, Bhagwa, the color Bhagwa is a mixture of 2 colors, red and yellow. What is red? Red is the symbol of danger, blood. What is yellow? Yellow is the symbol of calmness. Thandak deta, chandan. You know? I have discovered and understood it now after such a long time that it is not in my hands if I am wearing a Bhagwa. It is in the eyes of the beholder what color out of the 2 he sees. And that depends on how he behaves with me. If he behaves with one eyebrow
up,
then he will see the red in Bhagwa, and he must. If he meets me like this, I am always ready to give everything. That is what the Naga Sadhus are, that is what the Hindus are. Why is every religion flourishing here? Because all the religions, till they meet us like this, we offer them land, we offer them water, we offer them food, everything and anything, Atiti Devo Bhava. We make them gods, and later we understand कि ऋषि के कपड़ों में जो आया था वो रावण था. And that is what happens, that is what is still happening with the women of this country. That there are times, and there are numerous proofs and examples that they use Hindus' names to get in touch and get close to Hindu women, and later they open up. Exactly the Ravan tendency going on till now.
But you see all of that changing? Do you think it will change slowly? Society will become a little more aware? You feel Kumbh will also bring a certain shift in our consciousness to try and not just look inward, but also to understand us better? Starting with the Naga Sadhu, starting with this entire...
It's already happening. It's already happening. And all thanks to the youth. The number of youth, you were just saying that we have already crossed 42 CR going to Kumbh. I believe more than 50% is youth which is there. So, I mean, this in itself is an achievement and a success that more than 21 crore youngsters were there. That is what Astha is, that is what belief is. We are kind of getting everything, giving everything back what our parents missed to give us because of their own, you know, problems of day-to-day life. It is our parents' fault, and we need to settle it off, even on their part, for the coming generations. So I recently made this another thing which people have loved. Somebody this time in book fair, I was here till
for the
World Book Fair. So somebody heard a podcast, me saying that I understand that it is very important to learn English in order to stand on a global platform and become the CEOs of who's who companies. But why are you leaving your culture just to learn ABCD? Why A for apple? Why not A for Amba, Ambika, Ambalika, Agni? Why not B for Bhagwa and Bhagwan? When you will say, ek bacche ko you'll say, beta B for Bhagwan, he or she will ask, no, what is Bhagwan? That is when you get a chance to say that beta the full form of Bhagwan is Bha se bhumi, Ga se gagan, Va se vayu, Va mein A ki matra Agni और Na se neer, pani. So one who can control all these 5 elements is Bhagwan for me. Why C for cat? Why not C for culture? Why D for dog? Why not D for dharma? Or D for damru? Why E for, okay, you want to teach E for elephant, okay? Why not E for ekdant?
Ekdant, हाँ.
Your kid will ask, what is ekdant? That is your culture when you will tell कि गणेश जी का दांत कैसे टूटा था. That will make it beautiful. So somebody came this time with the whole ABCD of that printed. This is inspired by you, sir. I bought you a copy.
Wow.
And it was beautiful with the pictures and the exactly how we have been seeing ABCD since our childhood. Those people have created this ABCD.
Lovely.
And they're for free they're distributing it to kids. So things are
ऐसे
changing.
सीखो, हाँ, अंग्रेजी सीखो, अल्फाबेट सीखो, पर ऐसे सीखो.
अपने साथ सीखो
अपनी
ना.
सभ्यता से
ये
जुड़े
करते
हुए
करते they have taught us G for God. Abhi if you will sneeze or I will sneeze, somebody say will in their heart say God bless you.
God bless you.
Chattanji nobody will say. We don't even remember that. So why not G for the whole of BJP is continuously telling that we want to become a Vishwa Guru.
हाँ.
Why not G for Guru?
Guru.
Why not Guru Nanak? Why not Gita? Why not Guru Granth Sahib? You know, there's so many. Why not Gurudwara? Why G for goat? That is something that youth has started thinking and started giving back by making such things. They are getting inspired. Super happy, proud.
They were youngsters who actually made this.
A group of youngsters have done that.
Oh wow.
They all came, they got pictures with me and they said, this is what you were saying. We have created it and we are distributing it for free. Thousands of copies for free.
Now, volume 2,
Ji.
let's come back, the Battle of Gokul. You said none of them survive.
Yeah.
So it's a tragedy.
Big one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So while writing it, did it not hurt? Did you not want to fictionalize and say, let me just bring out one hero, one survivor?
The second
Let's
part
just
is...
creatively play with it a little.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Yeah. The second part is released on 27th of January, which is why you have not got a chance to read it. But when you will read it, you will find, you will smile, you will feel proud. There will be times when you will get emotional and cry. I'm sure while you were reading the first part, the way that the female elephant Dulari dies.
Yes, Dulari, yeah.
The moment I wrote it, I cried so much.
I felt so bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I strongly believe that there's a very, initial few pages where you dictate your characters, and then your characters do what they do.
Take over.
It's not in my hands. Just because I have a pen, I can't dictate them after a certain time, because in my head and in my pages, all of them are alive. So all of them know their parts.
Okay, let me ask you, why only in English? Why not in Hindi?
Of course in Hindi.
It's in Hindi also?
Naga Warrior's Hindi first part is already released with Manjul publication, and we had the first part in World Book Fair also before that, and the second part is coming within a month's time.
तो किसी नागा साधु को ये पढ़ा है, कहानी सुनाई?
पढ़ाया नहीं है अभी रिसेंटली,
किसी अखाड़ा में जाके उनको कहा?
नहीं, अभी वो तो नहीं हुआ, पर अभी रिसेंटली एक नागा बाबा से मैं बहुत डांट खाया हूँ.
हाँ.
अरे मतलब बहुत ही गुस्सा किया हूँ मेरे पे.
क्यों?
So few months back जन्माष्टमी था.
हाँ.
I was called to Delhi for they were giving me some award, and I didn't know there was a Bhagwadhari sitting there, and a few people knew me, so they were kind of escorting me, and those people they asked the Baba to stand and shift because they were wanting to make a place for me, and I did not see it. I thought he's just a Panditji. And then I sat and I apologized because every 2 minutes somebody was coming, clicking pictures. So I was standing and I was sitting, and he was unable to see on stage and everything. So I said, Panditji, sorry. Pandit dikhta hu main tumko. And he got furious. Pandit nahi hu main. And वहाँ जन्माष्टमी का वो मटकी फोड़ो और डांस वांस चल रहा था, and like he was, ये सबसे नहीं बचेगा हिंदुत्व. And when he said, do I look like a Pandit to you? And then he said, talwar nahi dikh rahi hai, and he had a long sword kept on his lapse.
Lapse.
I missed seeing it. And I said, आप गलत समझ रहे हैं, मैं तो आप लोगों पे किताब लिखा हूँ, किताब नहीं पढ़नी मुझे तेरी. And I said, अब ये नाराज हो गए. So I said, मैं कुछ नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, क्षमा चाहता हूँ, मेरा वो मतलब नहीं था. So he got offended that I said Pandit. So it was a very new experience. I'm not offended, I can't be. ये सब हमारे पूर्वज हैं.
Correct.
They know more than us, and they don't want, as I said, they don't want anything from us. So they don't care what you and I feel about them. Right?
Correct. And then they say it. So, but you talked about Hindutva, and he said Hindutva इससे नहीं बचेगा. Weren't you curious to ask him Hindutva कैसे बचेगा? And what is Hindutva?
No, he said Hindutva तलवार से बचेगा. He said मटका फोड़ने से नहीं, सर फोड़ने से बचेगा. He said.
Wow.
He was very furious. Somebody called him and he was sitting there and he was not liking all that was happening on stage. And then some, for him I was like a boy, he must be some 75 plus. So some boy has come and suddenly, everything is started revolving around him and what is wrong with these people. So he was absolutely right. I mean, people treat us in a different way, they treat them in a different way. Abhi in book fair I got to meet so many officers from Air Force, from defense. They are the real heroes. We aren't. All these actors, cricketers, people like me, we shouldn't be celebrated. Naga Sadhus should be celebrated because they are also an army. I often say that when you see a person from army or Air Force or Navy, you feel respect. You are ready to leave your seat so that they can sit. You want to salute them. This is exactly what these people deserve, the Naga Sadhus. Because they are doing, in their own form, they are doing the same thing.
But I'll tell you what, there is not just mysticism, there is also, along with fear, there is so much ignorance about them. That when you see a Naga Sadhu, you feel A, ये आदमी fraud तो नहीं, दूसरा ये आदमी high तो नहीं, drug addict तो नहीं, the third, is he going to harm me? 4, if he says something and वो बात सही निकल गई तो, what if he says something which is sharp and how does it feel? There are so many who have encountered and who have met Naga Sadhus who come up with deep respect. There are others who really prostrate and say, listen to what they have to say. So there is that group, but a large group sees them from a distance. वो कहते हैं ना जिसके बारे में और जिनके बारे में आपको पता नहीं है, when you don't know them, you have a mindset. एक धारणा बना लेते हैं, डर भी होता है, ये भी होता है. Don't you think that needs to change?
I don't understand.
And how will that change? Will this book change it? Help change it?
Change it, I don't know. Help change it, yes. I don't know. While we are saying that, there's a big chunk of mob who keep a little distance from them. I want to know from where does that mob come for people like, no offense to anybody, but there's a huge mob for Asaram Bapu. There's a huge mob for Ram Rahim. Lakhs and lakhs of people.
Yeah.
Which means they are ready. They are ready to, give somebody that space. If you are not thinking so much about these people, why is thinking so much about these? Also, when you compare people like Asaram Bapu or any such Dharma Guru who is on stage, on camera, they are directly, indirectly, intentionally, unintentionally, whatever way, but they are promoting themselves.
Correct.
Naga Sadhus don't promote themselves.
And despite that, it's a 4 lakh army.
It's a 4 lakh army.
And being a Naga Sadhu, when you embrace the Naga Sadhu way of life, why are they called Naga Sadhus in the first place? I'm sure you would have tried to deep dive into that.
Yeah.
So explain that and say, what do they commit to also?
They commit to only Hindutva. They commit to only protection of Dharma. There's no other mission for them. No, matlab, this mission is.
Who do they pray to? उनके आराध्य कौन है?
Shiv.
हाँ.
According to them, they've already got Shiv in them, and they're the army of Shiv to protect Hindutva and Hindu Dharma on this land.
तो नागेश्वर से नागा साधु है?
नहीं, अलग अलग है.
हाँ.
Nageshwar तो is one of the avatars of Shiva, no?
हाँ.
And Naga Sadhu, how do I tell? They are divided a few akhadas, and the moment we hear Naga, the word Naga Sadhu, we think that Naga means nude,
Nude. हाँ.
which is partially true.
हाँ.
Naga does not mean only nude. It does mean nude, but not only nude. Naga also means rishis and munis who live in mountains. That is another written description about the word Naga. The synonym of Naga is people, saints who live in mountains and aloof. So, there are 2-3 meanings of Naga, but the only word that we understand and associate Naga is with nudity.
Nudity.
Which is not fully correct.
But for them to choose that way of life is also not easy. There has to be someone who instills that purpose. You know, how does someone decide to be a Naga Sadhu? कभी सोचा 4 लाख अगर इनकी आर्मी है, more than some big armies. I don't think we should call it army. It's a group, and who are ready to serve the purpose of Hindutva and of Dharma.
And die for it.
And die for it, yeah. So when they're committed, so that's it takes a certain mentality, certain sense of purpose to be able to do that. See, in the armed forces, it's drilled into you, right?
Yeah.
Here, how does it come? How does it happen?
So, do you push somebody to join the army? You don't. Somebody decides, some youngster decides that I want to go join my army. It is exactly the same. And as you know, it's just not that I want to join the army and which is why I'll become a soldier. No. There's another side who will decide whether I am fit to be a soldier or not. Same goes with Naga Sadhus also. I may want to become a Naga Sadhu, but akhadas may reject me. They will meet you and then they will, talk to you or understand you or your aura or your purity or your spirit. And sometimes they are rejected, saying ki come back after 5 years, 10 years.
अभी तैयार नहीं हो.
Abhi you are not ready to become one.
You are not become. So they know, they can see right through you.
Yes.
How do they define Hindutva? And does that marry your definition, your understanding of Hindutva? So let's come back towards the final two questions on Hindutva. Yeah.
It marries to their definition of Hindutva is the right definition of Hindutva, What do? They are sitting in some aloof corner, not disturbing anybody, and when they come to places like this, the only thing they want is not to be disturbed. They are not coming to your home with their trishuls. You are going to them disturbing. You want to have a picture, you want to take a bite, which is when we have all seen, some Naga Sadhus getting furious. थप्पड़ मार दिया, लाठी घुमा दिया, त्रिशूल फेंक दिया, तलवार घुमा रहे हैं, whatever. This is exactly what Hindutva is, that I was talking about.
Our deities also, when you said that, interesting, that Vishnu also has the Kaumudaki and the Sudarshan, along with the lotus and the Shankh.
Yeah.
So it's a combination. Kali or Durga. All of them. Shiva also, all of them. एक हाथ में डमरू है और एक हाथ में त्रिशूल है. So it's an interpretation which says that both have to go hand in hand.
बिल्कुल. आप
शक्ति और शांति साथ में जाना.
साथ में चलेगा. आप एक लौती ऐसी कौम है इस पूरे विश्व में जिसके हर देवी देवता के हाथ में अस्त्र शस्त्र है. But some Mahan guy came saying that we are a non-violent country and we got our independence due to non-violence.
Yeah.
Subconsciously we did not even understood that the moment we are teaching this to our kids that you need to be non-violent, आप अपने सारे देवी देवताओं को नकार रहे हैं, गलत साबित कर रहे हैं. Yeah. Just imagine if somebody attacks me with a sword, will I be able to defend myself with hands?
No.
मेरा हाथ अलग कट के गिर जाएगा. For that also, in order to stop a sword or warn him, I need to have a sword in my hand.
No, interesting that you say कि हमारे freedom struggle में गांधी भी थे और नेताजी भी थे ना. तो शक्ति और शांति दोनों साथ में थे.
तभी मिला.
तभी मिला. So I think that's how the history should have been taught, saying that you have to be strong, you have to be sabal, with the first intent of peace. Even Krishna says, 4 गांव दे दो, युद्ध नहीं करेंगे.
हाँ.
And the last vikalp is youth. Then when it comes to youth, you should be ready to fight. You have to equip yourself to be able to fight.
And फिर साम दाम दंड भेद everything.
Everything, yeah. So whatever it is to protect Dharma. So you believe that's Hindutva?
Of course
that's how
Hindutva.
Being a Hindu is, that you've got to be Shakti and Shanti together. That's
Yes,
how it
yes. You are most welcome on my land. I have started saying one more thing.
Yeah.
There may be people who don't like that, but it is okay with me. I at the same time also believe that not everybody loves Gandhi and not everybody hates Hitler. So you can't satisfy and convince everybody around you. The diplomacy of secularism does not work everywhere. I have started saying that it shouldn't be Hindustan. There has to be a H after T in Hindustan. It is the sthan of Hindu. It is a Hindustan. And if it is a Hindustan, it is my land. I will decide who will live, who will not, who will come, who will go. And everybody is welcome. Unless you are not trying to encroach me.
Correct.
This is what Naga Sadhus do, and Naga Sadhus are first a Hindu, then a Naga Sadhu. I may not be a Naga Sadhu, but I am equally a Hindu. I will feed you, but if you will try to snatch my thali, then वो जब थाली खाली होगी तो उसको तुम्हारे चेहरे पे मार दूंगा मैं. I have started saying that if you are not on the table, then you are in the menu.
Yeah.
You are in the menu if you are not on the table. So you will have to stand and fight for your civilization, or else be prepared to be a lost civilization, and there are hundreds and thousands already gone.
Right. Okay, final question. What next after Naga Warriors? What's the next book that you're working on?
My next book's name is The Other Indian.
The Other Indian?
Yeah. So I've decided that all the names of my books will be 3 letters, and the first letter will always be
The.
So the Hidden Hindu, the Naga Warriors, now the Other Indian. It is again a duology in 2 parts. And if you have already started liking my thought process and concepts of storytelling, you're going to love it. It is a political science fiction. So you definitely are going to love it.
It's a political science fiction. So from the realm of Dharma and mythology and chronicles of history which you've fictionalized, you've now come to a political science fiction that's called The Other Indian. When is it hitting the stands?
Probably in August. I'm working on it.
In August? अरे अभी तो फरवरी है, तो फरवरी से अगस्त के बीच में भी तो बात करेंगे, तब तो मिलेंगे.
करेंगे, बिल्कुल करेंगे. मैं लगा हुआ हूँ उसमें. और you don't want to see your favorite actor playing the same character and same role in every film.
Correct.
Why do you want an author to be confined and stick to one genre?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, not you, but in general. If you think that I'm a good storyteller, I will give you a good story only.
Good.
Forget the genre. You will like it because I know what you like.
Fantastic. So that's Akshat Gupta, his definition of Hindutva. But more importantly, I think it opens up our eyes to the Naga Sadhus, this book. It did. At least for me, Volume 1 did. Volume 2 perhaps will tell me the story of what actually happened in the Battle of Gokul. Thank you. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
So much.